The Wellness Hour. An in-depth discussion with today's top physicians and medical leaders. And now, your host, Randy Alvarez.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bill Dorfman. You're watching the Wellness Hour Consumer Report, and I'm here with Brian Safdari, who's founder and CEO of the College Planning Experts. For more information, you can go to his website later on at www.collegeplanningexperts.com. Now, you may be wondering why I'm here today. Many of you will recognize me from the ABC hit show Extreme Makeover and the new CBS daytime talk show, The Doctors. What you don't know is that I co-founded a nonprofit high school and college motivational leadership program called LEAP. Brian's been a big supporter of LEAP, and we run a summer program every year. This year it will be August 9th to the 14th at UCLA. If you'd like more information, I'm not going to talk about LEAP today, although I'm really passionate about it. Go to www.leapfoundation.com and you can find out everything you want to know. So Brian was a 4-year varsity soccer player and the Chatsworth High School's soccer team captain. He was one of the highest ranked soccer players in the country and played on the 1998 U.S. World Cup team. Brian had many NCAA Division I colleges recruiting him to play his senior year. He was banking on a full-blown athletic scholarship and made no other plans with any other colleges. Well, when a career-ending injury took college soccer off the radar for Brian, he was lost. Brian was the first person in his family to attend college. He didn't have anybody to turn to for advice, and so he decided to just go to CSUN. So he went to Cal State Northridge. He lived at home. He figured that was the least expensive way to go to school, and he didn't really understand the financial aid process. After procrastinating and making a lot of mistakes on his financial aid forms, he found himself $50,000 in debt with student loans. Brian decided that there had to be a better way. He then started learning bit by bit how to do this, and he decided to make this a career and teach and guide families through the entire college planning process and save them from making the same mistakes that he had made. Brian's worked with over 1,000 families, helping them to attain the college dreams that they want for their kids. His clients come from all over the country and attend educationally diverse colleges and schools from junior colleges all the way up to Harvard University. He is the co-host of the monthly smash hit radio show College Planning Secrets Exposed on KHTS 1220 AM, Wednesday afternoons from 1 to 2 p.m. Brian's also published his own book, College Planning Made Easy. So today, there are 3 basic points that I want to get across with Brian, and you need to know. First, how do you get your child into the best college? Not only the best college, but the best college for them. Secondly, I want you to find out how you can get free money for that college. And the third thing is, once you get your child into college, or if you're already in college, how do you do your whole financial planning for college? Brian's here today. He's an expert on this, and he's going to tell you how to find out all 3 of these things. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning. Thanks, Dr. Bill.
So, who's your typical client, Brian?
Anybody who has kids that want to go to college.
So, Brian, just to avoid all the confusion, just tell me really concisely what it is that you guys do.
We work with parents who have kids that want to go to college and get free money. 3 simple things that we do, 3 pillars, I should say. I will package the student and make sure they can get into the college of their choice, regardless of their grades. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show the parents how to get free money, regardless of their income or their assets. And the third thing, I'm going to show the families how to fund for the cost of college without using all their savings, sacrificing their current lifestyle, or going plain broke.
Okay, that's awesome, but I was reading through your literature and I saw you have like 4 categories. What are those 4 categories?
Well, first category is a family that has kids that are in 9th grade and 10th grade in high school, where they're planning to find the right schools and ensure that they get accepted to these schools. The second category are families who have juniors and seniors in high school because they are right in that right time under the spotlight of ensuring that they can maximize their chances of getting in and getting free money for college. Our third category is families who are already sending their kids to college and they're struggling, wondering how they can get financial aid. And our fourth category are families who are in kindergarten to 8th grade trying to figure out how they can save properly to be able to send their child to the best college that they can send their child to.
So basically, you're working with anybody who has kids that want to go to college, just like you stated. Now, I know you've been really successful doing this. What would the average family expect for you to be able to help them with as far as financial aid? How much financial aid have you been able to get for your families?
Well, over the past 6 years and physically working with over 1,000 families, I average save families about $10,000 to $15,000 a year. Basically, I get them free money at community colleges and state schools. And then at private schools that are $50,000 that parents don't think they can send their child to, I get them at least half or more, even to a full ride. So you can send your child to a private school cheaper than the state cost if you just know how the process works.
So Brian, my daughter's in high school. I know that there's a college planning counselor there. Why should I go to you instead of using the one in her high school?
Well, Dr. Bill, a guidance counselor at the school does so much. They handle everything at the schools. And an average guidance counselor has 500 students tied into them. So they're a great resource. But what we do that's different is we've dedicated our lives. It's a passion for me for doing what I've done. And it's so different from working with the guidance counselors because they do a lot of stuff for the students, and it's great. In fact, I work with guidance counselors, and guidance counselors use me on what it really takes to help the students get accepted to these schools that they don't do on a day-to-day basis. So that's why they use me as a resource, and I love working with guidance counselors because it makes the job a lot easier for the guidance counselors to do what they're best at doing, just by me being a resource for them.
That's awesome. So how early should you start the process? I mean, kindergarten, grammar school, where?
Well, I would say kindergarten is the best time to get started because the families need to start saving properly and ensure that where they're saving money will not count against them in the financial aid process when that time comes.
So basically, if I have kids that are in kindergarten, I just call you up and I enroll, and then you just kind of stay with me through the whole process?
Yeah, if you're starting kindergarten year or up to 8th grade, you fall in that one category that we need to plan properly based on your financial situation so that you can send your child to the best college so you don't have to say, no, I can't send you there because it's too expensive. So if we plan ahead and we understand what it's going to cost your child to get into college when that time comes, could be 6 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, we will be properly positioned so that you will have the money to send your child to those colleges.
As a parent, you're always afraid that you're going to make mistakes. What are some of the common mistakes that parents make when it comes to financial planning for college?
Well, financial aid, families, the biggest mistakes they make is that they don't fill out a financial aid form. They assume that they will not qualify for financial aid because they just think that financial aid is only for low-income families.
Have you ever had a family not qualify at all? Get no money at all?
No. If they know...
Never?
Never.
That's amazing.
Yeah, if you're doing things just by filling out a financial aid form, and you don't understand the process, like I didn't understand, my parents only made $25,000 a year, so I was told, you don't need to do anything. Your family is in a low-income situation. You're going to get all the financial aid. But I didn't have anybody to guide me on these overwhelming financial aid forms. One mistake on this financial aid form, by me listing my parents' business asset, which they just bought, disqualified me for financial aid because the rules say you do not list your business assets if you have less than 100 employees. Well, as a high school student, I don't know that kind of stuff. Yeah. I don't know what that meant.
Yeah, no, listen, I went to college 25 years ago. It's all changed. I want to help my kids as much as I can, but I know nothing about this. I'm a dentist. I know teeth. You have a tooth problem, you come to me. You're a college planner. I have a college planning problem. I'm going to go to you. You know, I mean, I don't even know how much does college cost today. I have no idea.
Well, let me tell you, Dr. Bill, it's changed over 400% on just tuition over the past 15 years. So your Cal States or your community college is anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 a year. Your UC schools, such as UCLA, is about $25,000, $26,000 a year. And your private schools are anywhere from $50,000, even all the way up to $100,000 per year. Not 4 years, Dr. Bill. I'm talking about 1 year. Now imagine if you have several kids.
Yeah, I do.
All right, so we got to multiply that by however many kids you have.
No, that's a lot of teeth I got to do. I mean, I look at each kid, that's like 20 teeth. No, that's a lot, you know? It's a lot. And the other thing is, I heard it's like I mean, I went to UCLA. I love UCLA. You know, I want my daughters to go to UCLA. I heard it's impossible to get in there. You know, you help with that, don't you?
Oh yeah, we work with any type of student, no matter what their GPA is, no matter what they think they want to do. We work with them and really assess where they are going to fit with these colleges. Everybody thinks of UCLA, Berkeley, Stanford, these typical schools, but what parents and students don't understand is that there's over 5,000 colleges all across the country, and you can go studying abroad in like University of Paris. You can go out of the country if you like. The process is the same. You just need to understand what's going to maximize your child's chance of getting accepted.
So we went, and it was a seminar, and listened to what Brian had to say. He was leading the seminar. My son is now in college, in a New York college in Manhattan, and he absolutely loves his school. And my advice to any parent out there whose son or daughter is excited about going to college and has dreams of going to a college that they don't think that they can afford is to please have hope. Go to College Planning Experts. Brian is amazing. He knows the system. He knows how it works. And you know, you'll be able to get, you know, your son or daughter into that college that they never thought that they could go to.
Brian, what are some tips that you can give parents to help them get free money for their kids regardless of their income?
Well, the first tip is that families need to understand something called an EFC. It stands for Expected Family Contributions. This number, I can't tell you how important it is. In the past 6 years I've been doing this, from working with celebrities to families who don't make any money, you can have a really low income like I did and my parents did, and my expected family contribution got shot up the roof because I made these mistakes on the financial aid form. So the EFC stands for Expected Family Contribution, and the government decides what this number is.
But what if you're really wealthy? I mean, I would say, well, I probably make more than the average family. I'm a dentist, I have a good income. Should I even apply?
Of course, Dr. Bill.
Why?
Well, it's so important that families think financial aid is only for low-income families, but there are private schools that, number one, will get your child out in 4 years versus 5 to 6 years, like some of these state schools that parents don't even know that it takes 5 to 6 years anymore to graduate, but private schools will get you out in 4 years or less. They're $50,000, $60,000 sticker prices, but your net cost comes down to like $15,000 to $20,000 to $25,000 a year. Here's the main reason why. If you make over $250,000 a year at a private school, they actually want you more than someone that makes under $70,000 a year. Yeah, and they'll give you money for it because here's what they want to do. They want to establish a long-term relationship with you. They don't want to take your money for the next 4 years. They don't care about the 4 years. What they know historically in the past 50 years, their endowments are based off of families who make over $250,000 a year. They know that if they keep you happy, you're going to become a lifetime alumni. You're going to give back to the school. True. So back to your original question with wealthy families, why should they apply for financial aid? Well, here's the story. I have a family right now that makes $1.6 million a year on their adjusted gross income for 2009. And this family is applying to Chapman University, that's in Orange County. We're applying to Biola, and both schools have come back giving about $25,000 to $28,000 a year. And here's one thing I do with wealthy families. We apply to 6 to 8 colleges that are in competition with each other. There's something, Dr. Pill, families don't understand, which college is a business. So you need to understand if you're applying to this school, which other schools compete with this school so that we can find 5, 6 schools that are in competition with each other. Obviously, the students wanting to go because it's the right fit for them. Then we can negotiate one offer with the other. It's no different than buying a car. You don't walk into that one office and or that dealer and buy that car.
I love that. I love that. You know, it's like when patients come into my office, I tell them, you never have to worry about your teeth again. I'll worry about it. I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. And I feel the same way with you. You know, I've been sitting here worrying about what I'm going to do for my kids for college. I don't have to worry. I just call you and I know you're going to take care of it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, another thing that you guys talk about is this whole idea of paying wholesale versus retail for college. Can you explain that?
Sure. The wholesale retail analogy is by understanding your expected family contribution and understanding where you fall in the financial aid process. Because in the financial aid system, you fall either under category 1, 2, or 3 in the finance side. If you're under $70,000 of income, you fall in a category 1. If you're $71,000 to $140,000 in income, you fall in a category 2. And if you're $140,000 to and above, up to millions of dollars, you fall in a category 3. Each family category type is treated differently by the schools. You can get more money because you make a lot of money, versus having little income, you may not get as much. I get all sorts of families. Example, I have a family that makes $68,000 a year right now, is receiving $16,500 at UC Berkeley. But then I have a family that makes $265,000 a year and is getting $32,000 at Stanford. The net out-of-pocket cost is less for the family that makes more money. So everybody is looking at the sticker price and assume that the sticker price determines how much the total cost of college is going to be. It's not. It's that net out of pocket, which is the strategies and the formulas that are in place in this higher education system.
I was originally planning to go to a state school because my GPA was a 3.0, and I knew that private schools only accepted the higher GPAs. So I got an email for a free application to this great private university that I never dreamed of getting into, and I actually got into it. So I was so excited, but then realized the tuition was too much. And then I found Brian with College Planning Experts and realized with a couple adjustments, I could attend my dream university. As of right now, I have saved $30,000, and I have to give all the credit to College Planning Experts.
Okay, so Brian, I graduated from Granada Hills High School. I had a 3.8 GPA, which was great. I got right into UCLA. But at that time, a 4.0 was the highest you can get. I hear these kids with like a 4.8, 4.9 GPA. First of all, how does that work? Secondly, what if your kid doesn't have a 4-point-something GPA and doesn't have great SAT scores? Does that mean they're not going to get into a good college?
It's not all about GPA, Dr. Bill. I have a student, her name is Natalie. She wanted to go to Pepperdine, and Pepperdine was the only school she really wanted to go to. We applied to other schools, but she's like, Brian, I want to go to Pepperdine. I said, okay, Natalie, GPA is important at Pepperdine because you need to have a 4.1 and above to get in. But I said, here's what we're going to do that will help you get in. You're female, you're Hispanic, that's not going to be the only criteria because it won't work. But we got to do one step further to make you unique. What we did for her was we enrolled her in the engineering department. Female, Hispanic, engineer, and engineer is predominantly male. That helped her get accepted to the school.
Smart.
And here's the best part. She got $28,000 in financial aid. Dad makes $500,000 a year. Dad's super happy with this situation.
You know, that's brilliant. I have a hygienist who has 3 daughters. They all went to UCLA. They were great students, but not like the best. And the way she got them in was she did research and she found out that the orchestra at UCLA needs this one specific wind instrument that nobody knows how to play. All 3 of her kids were experts in that instrument, and that's how they got into UCLA.
That's a great example, Dr. Bill. And here's the other thing that's really important. You can have a 4.5 GPA, and I have parents coming to my workshops, and they're like, I don't need to do anything. I have a student that's a 4.5 student. Everybody's going to accept them. I go, no, trust me, they won't. 4.5 doesn't mean anything anymore. There's over 40 to 50,000 applications going into every single school. That's another thing parents don't understand. They think that there's only 4,000 applications going in. My student has a 4.5. I'm getting in. I'm getting all the merit scholarships. I don't need to plan. They're going to be wrong in that situation. You have to understand how the system works today.
One of the things that you're also known for is kind of this concept of packaging a student. I mean, some people might think, well, I'm just going to apply to 50 schools and then I'll get into one. That may not be the best plan, right?
Correct, Dr. Bill. Counselors, for example. I've had counselors tell the students, since it's so hard to get into colleges these days, why don't you apply to 10 to 15 schools, because at least the more you apply, the better your chances of getting in.
But the colleges know that, right?
The colleges know that, and it backfires at you. Here's the reason why. I deal with the admissions officers. For example, there's admissions officers at Ivy League schools that I deal with, and I personally work with them, and they tell me this: if I see a student applying to more than 6 schools, I'm not even going to look at their application. They're too scattered and they're not focused on coming here. I want students who truly have a desire, or the burning desire, to want to come here. You have to apply to 6 to 8 schools. That's the magic number. No more, no less.
Got it.
When I applied to college, I applied to UCLA, UC Berkeley, Georgetown University. I got accepted to all 3, but I was denied financial aid and I didn't understand why. So what I decided to do was attend a free workshop by the college planning experts, where they showed me how to properly fill out my financial aid forms, and as a result of that, I was able to attend Boston University and qualify for over $43,000 in financial aid per year. So when I graduated from Boston University, magna cum laude, I only had $6,700 in debt. So impressed, I decided to join College Planning Experts as a full-time college planner.
So Brian, we're running out of time here. What's the one big takeaway message that you want to get to all the families listening right now? If you have a student that wants to go to college, whether they're in grammar school, kindergarten, wherever they are, what should they do?
They need to pick up the phone and call me. I do this for a living. I've spent over 5,000 hours researching the Higher Education Act, and I'm still doing it. I've been the student doing it the wrong way. I've got myself into these pit traps that they throw families and students into. It's such an overwhelming process. And as a parent and a student, you don't have time to figure this stuff out on your own. You need to call me, because I can get any family, no matter what their income level is, I can get them free money. I don't care how much assets they have. I will show them how to get free money. On top of that, it is so important to get your child to the best college so that they can get out in 4 years versus the typical 5 to 6 years to graduate.
That's amazing. Honestly, as a parent of 3 young girls, I'm going to pick up the phone and call you when I get home and just enroll in your program. I trust you. I think you know what you're doing. I've spoken to some of your students. It's amazing how successful you've been. And you know, I love the fact that you learned all this firsthand. You know, it's not the kind of thing where you started, researching it. You did it. You made the mistakes. You went through it. You figured out what to do. And then you did more research and you figured out the best way to do this. I'm calling you.
Thanks. I appreciate that. But there's something else. In the college planning world, there are so many different types of processes that go on. We are the only one that goes from full service, from inception to completion, hand-holding you, guiding you step by step to make this overwhelming process an experience that you're going to take with you for the rest of your life. I mean, think about it. Your child's starting college and starting their career. I think it should be the best experience you should have, not the worst because of the cost and what it's going to take to get accepted.
Yeah, I mean, and there are things we haven't even talked about, like you do workshops for families. I just went last night. It was phenomenal. I went into the Valley, Van Nuys. Tell me a little bit about that, because I'm sure parents would like to hear about that.
Thank you. Last night we had over 400 families there. We do workshops all across Los Angeles County, and we're going out all across the country teaching families what it takes to get their child into the college of their choice, and showing the families how to get free money regardless of their income, regardless of their assets, or how good of a student they have.
No, you did an amazing program last night. I mean, I got to talk to some of your students firsthand. It was really enlightening.
The families loved when you went up on stage, because I always bring people on stage, because the students need to see from successful people what it takes to go to college and to be successful in life. I'm always there, and I have a passion helping the students and guiding them through this entire process so they can start their career and start making money. Because at the end of the day, college, getting in, getting money, that's only one of the issue. what do we do to get them out of college and get them into their career field, making top dollars as fast as possible?
Yeah, no, that's great. And that was a great opportunity for me to talk about LEAP, because you get them into college, we take them and we help them into that process, but we also take them from college out into the real world. So it was a really, really great relationship that we were able to convey.
You must have read my mind, because I was just so into this whole getting kids into college, but I was always wondering, what can I do to get them out? And when we met a couple months ago, I was like, oh my God, LEAP and the information and the people that come out and speak, the success that they have. I wish I was in high school and I had this program where I can go and learn from experts what it takes to be successful. I was lucky and fortunate that I met successful people, but a lot of times students don't get that. And I think LEAP is a phenomenal program, and I wholeheartedly support it. I think me working with kids, getting them in, and you working with them and getting them out, it becomes a win-win.
That's great. You know, I don't know of any other organization in the country that does what you guys do. And I know what you charge, and I think it's really, really inexpensive compared to what you're going to be getting out of this. I can't even imagine. I mean, even somebody in a high-income family, middle-income family, low-income family, I can't imagine that with all your resources, they won't more than pay for your fees. Plus, be assured that they're putting their kids in the right college for that kid. It's really, really phenomenal what you do.
Yeah, and also the intangible benefits of the peace of mind, the overwhelming process, simplifying it, and hand-holding you. I get a lot of families tell me, your fees are very inexpensive, but aside from that, the comfort and how you've made this process so easy for us, because you do this for a living, you know exactly 5 steps ahead where the potholes are so that we don't put our foot there and get ourselves in the same mess that I got myself into.
Exactly. So what's the best way for families to contact you?
Well, the best way is to go on our website at www.collegeplanningexperts.com, and we have workshops every single month that may be in your area. Go on the website, reserve for a workshop. We spend about an hour and a half giving you information that you will never, ever get.
How much are the workshops?
Workshops are free.
Free.
I don't charge anything because
That's awesome.
I'm like, I have to give back. I'm living a mission to touch as many families that I can touch. That's been my goal and my vision. After I got myself in debt, with sleepless nights thinking how I'm going to get myself in debt, when I researched the Higher Education Act, I made a promise to myself and I said, I'm going to work with one family at a time. I don't care what it takes, and I'm going to help them reduce their out-of-pocket costs and make sure they go to the best college.
That's great. I love doing the same thing too. I mean, my feeling in life is if you pass through this world without having made it a better place, what's the sense of being here? And I know you share that same vision. Brian, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr.
I
Bill.
think you're doing an amazing thing, and I will enroll my kids tomorrow.
Great. I look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much, Dr. Bill.
Thanks for watching The Wellness Hour, the leader in medical news with your host, Randy Alvarez, the authority on health issues.